Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Usually when we sit down at these microphones, we are sprinting. We're tearing apart complex geopolitical situations, we're analyzing the latest tech trends, or we're trying to summarize a 400-page book in 20 minutes.
We are, yeah. We're usually running at 100 miles an hour.
Exactly. But today, I want to do something a little different. I want to hit the brakes. I want to pull the car over to the side of the road and, turn off the engine.
A change of pace.
A definite change of pace. Because we have a stack of research here. It's called Vocab Set 92 that is, well, it's deceivingly simple.
It really is. On the surface, if you just glance at the document, it looks like a list of 30 words, just some phrases on a page. But when you actually dig into the linguistics, into the social usage of these phrases, you realize this isn't just a vocabulary list.
No, not at all.
It's a map of how native speakers actually navigate their day.
That's a great way to put it, a map. And I think for our listeners, specifically for you, if you're using these deep dives to sharpen your English, this is the holy grail. We aren't just going to give you the definition.
No. Anyone can buy a dictionary.
Right.
A dictionary tells you what a word means. We want to explore how it feels. We want to act as your patient teachers today. So we're going to look at the emotional weight of these phrases, the specific contexts where you'd use them, and frankly, the places where using them might, get you into a bit of trouble.
So here's the game plan. We have 30 items, and for every single one, we are going to take our time. We're going to look at the meaning, the examples, the grammar, the synonyms, the prepositions.
The collocations, the opposites. It's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. We're going to keep our language simple, clear, and calm.
Absolutely. So pour a coffee, get comfortable. Let's get into the nuance of English.
Okay, let's start.
Let's start with something that seems incredibly basic, but is actually quite specific regarding movement. Item number 1 is the phrasal verb, wait up. And specifically, wait up for somebody. Now, looking at the notes here, the preposition is usually for. You wait up for somebody. But my first question is, why up? Why don't we just say wait? What does that little word up do?
That is a great question to start with because it gets right to the heart of phrasal verbs. The up here acts as an intensifier, but it also implies a disruption of momentum.
A disruption of momentum. Okay.
Think about it physically. If you say, wait for me, you could be sitting in a chair, not moving at all, just waiting for a friend to arrive at a cafe.
Right. I'm at the restaurant. I'm waiting. I'm stationary, not moving.
Exactly. But wait up almost exclusively implies that you are currently in motion. You are walking down the street. Maybe you're driving 2 cars in a convoy. To wait up means to pause your forward progress to let the person behind you close the gap.
So it's about synchronizing speed.
It's all about synchronizing speed. It's stopping so someone can catch up.
I see. So if I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, I wouldn't shout to my friend who's in the kitchen, wait up.
It would sound very unnatural unless, and this is an interesting exception, unless you were in the middle of a conversation, which is a kind of metaphorical movement.
Oh, interesting.
If someone changed the subject too fast, you might say, whoa, wait up, I didn't catch that. You're asking them to pause the forward movement of the conversation.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, let's look at 3 examples to really cement this for you. The first one is that classic physical example. Please wait up. I can't walk that fast.
Perfect. You're asking them to stop moving so you can join them. Simple as that. Here's a second example, maybe a little sadder. He didn't wait up for his sister, so she had to walk home alone.
You can really picture that. He just kept walking ahead. And for the third one, maybe you're leaving the house and you forgot something. Wait up, I forgot my keys on the table. You are stopping the action of leaving.
Exactly. Now, in terms of the word family or concept group, this is strictly a phrasal verb, and it sits in what linguists call a semantic field. Here, the field is movement and speed. It's all about adjusting your pace to match someone else's.
Okay, so let's say I'm in that situation. I'm walking, my friend is too fast, but my brain freezes.
Yeah.
And I can't remember wait up. What are some synonyms I could use?
You could simply use hold on, that's very common.
Hold on.
Or pause. You could also use a longer phrase like wait a minute. But honestly, wait up is the most natural when you are physically walking.
Right. And we mentioned the preposition for. It's pretty fixed, isn't it? You wait up for someone.
Almost always, yes. But there are some common collocations or word pairings that you should know. The most common is just wait up for me. But there's a very specific domestic situation using the negative form, which is a key collocation. Don't wait up.
Ah, yes. The parent-teenager phrase. Or maybe between partners.
Exactly. If you're going out late to a party and you tell your mom or your husband, don't wait up, what are you actually saying?
You're saying, go to sleep. Don't stay awake waiting for me.
Precisely. You are relieving them of the responsibility of worrying about your safety. It's like a permission slip for them to go to bed because you know you'll be very late.
So the opposite then of waiting up. It's not just waiting, it's more active.
Right. The opposite action would be to go ahead or to leave behind or even to rush off. It's the action of continuing your forward movement without the other person.
Got it. Okay, let's take a brief pause there to let that sink in.
All right. Moving on to item number 2. This is a question structure that I think is essential for business English or just any kind of high-level conversation. The phrase is, what do you make of somebody, or what do you make of something?
This is one of my favorites because it makes the speaker sound very analytical. It sounds like you're really thinking deeply about something.
It does. The meaning here is asking for an opinion, but it's specifically asking for an interpretation. It's almost like you are a detective and the person or situation is a puzzle you need to solve.
So it's different from just asking, do you like him?
Oh, very different. If I ask, what do you think of him? You might say, I like him, or he's nice. It's asking for a judgment of value.
A simple good or bad.
Yes. But what do you make of him? Asks, how do you decode this person? What's your analysis? What makes them tick?
That is a subtle but really powerful difference.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at some examples. Number 1, what do you make of the new boss?
You're not asking if your colleague likes her. You're asking for an impression. Is she strict? Is she smart? Is she fair? What's the analysis?
Exactly. Okay, example number 2. I received this strange email, and I don't know what to make of it.
That means I don't understand it. I can't interpret the meaning or the intention behind it. It's confusing.
And a third one, maybe a more practical one. What do you make of this strange noise in the engine? You're asking a mechanic for a diagnosis, an interpretation of the sound.
Precisely. So the concept group here is an idiomatic question, and its semantic field is opinion, understanding, and perception. It's all about processing information and forming a conclusion.
What about synonyms? If I wanted to ask for an interpretation but didn't use this phrase.
You could say, what is your opinion on? Or, a bit more formally, how do you interpret this? A very common one is, what is your impression of this?
Good options. And the preposition.
The preposition is non-negotiable here. It is always of. You cannot say, what do you make about him? That sounds immediately wrong to a native ear. It must be make of.
Make of. Got it. In terms of collocations, we often use this when we are confused, right? Like in that email example. I don't know what to make of this situation.
Correct. Or, I'm not sure what to make of his decision. It highlights confusion or a need for analysis.
So the opposite state, it wouldn't really be a phrase, would it? It would be the absence of needing to interpret.
Exactly. The opposite state would be having a fact or certainty. You wouldn't say, what do you make of the sun rising? You know what it is. It's a fact. So the opposite concept is knowing for sure, or it's a given.
Okay, let's pause there. That's a really useful one.
And on to number 3. This is a phrase that adds a lot of power and confidence to your speech, without doubt.
It sounds very confident, very assertive.
It is. The meaning is simply 100% certain. It means you are sure. There is absolutely no question in your mind. It's a way to remove all ambiguity from what you're saying.
It feels like something a lawyer would say in a courtroom, or a scientist presenting findings.
It definitely has that formal, authoritative feel. Let's hear some examples. Number 1, she is, without doubt, the best singer in the room.
You're not just saying, I think she's the best. You're stating it as an objective fact.
You are. Example 2. This is, without doubt, the hottest day of the year so far.
Again, stating a fact with complete certainty. And example 3, I can say without doubt that he is innocent.
Right. So conceptually, this is an adverbial phrase. It modifies the verb or the whole sentence to add this feeling of certainty. And its semantic field is, unsurprisingly, certainty and truth.
Synonyms are quite common for this one, I think.
Yes, there are many good ones. You can use the single word undoubtedly or certainly, definitely. And the very casual conversational one is for sure.
For sure feels much more relaxed than without doubt.
Oh, completely. You'd say for sure to a friend, but you'd say without doubt in a formal report.
Good distinction. Now, the preposition is built right into the phrase, without. You are without any doubt.
Correct. And for collocations, you will often hear this with verbs related to speech or knowledge. Things like say without doubt, prove without doubt, or know without doubt.
And the opposite. What if you're not 100% sure?
Well, the opposite introduces that uncertainty. You could use words like possibly, maybe, unlikely, or the direct opposite adverb doubtfully.
Okay, let's take a breath there.
All right. Item number 4 often triggers a lot of confusion for learners because of the logic of it. The phrase is, I couldn't agree more.
Yes, the logic trap. You hear the word couldn't, could not, which is negative. So your brain immediately starts to think, oh, they disagree with me.
Right. But it's actually the strongest possible form of agreement in the English language. It means, I agree with you completely, 100%.
Can we try to explain the logic behind it? Because it does feel counterintuitive.
Let's try. Imagine you have a bucket labeled agreement. Someone makes a point you really agree with. If you say, I agree, you're putting some agreement in the bucket. If you say, I really agree, the bucket is almost full. But if you say, I couldn't agree more, you're saying your bucket is already overflowing. It is physically impossible for you to add any more agreement to this container.
That's a great way to visualize it. It's the maximum possible amount of agreement. It's absolute.
It's absolute. Let's look at some examples. Number 1, a simple one. You think pizza is delicious. I couldn't agree more.
Okay, that's easy enough. Example 2, he said the movie was way too long and I couldn't agree more.
Perfect. And a third one, maybe more professional. Regarding your plan to save money, I couldn't agree more. It's brilliant.
So in terms of its group, this is a fixed expression of agreement.
Yes, it's a set phrase. You don't change the words.
And what about synonyms? What are other ways to express that maximum level of agreement?
You could say, I totally agree. Or, you're exactly right. A great, slightly more British one is spot on.
Spot on. I like that. And there were no variable prepositions here. It's just a solid chunk of language.
Correct. And it's usually used as a standalone response. Someone gives their opinion, and you just respond with this phrase.
Now, the opposite is interesting because you can actually just flip the logic, can't you?
You can. You can say, I couldn't disagree more, which again means you 100% disagree. Or you could say, I disagree completely. Or, the more formal and polite, I beg to differ.
Excellent. Let's pause there.
Okay, item number 5. Another one for expressing opinions. The phrase is, as far as I'm concerned.
This phrase feels a bit like a wall, doesn't it? It feels like you're putting up a boundary around your opinion.
It does. That's a very good way to describe it. The meaning is, in my opinion, but it has an extra layer. It implies, this is my perspective, and I don't really care what other people think. It limits the validity of the statement to just you.
So it's a way of being firm without being directly aggressive.
Exactly. Let's look at an example. Number 1. As far as I'm concerned, the matter is closed.
Which means I am done talking about this. For me, this conversation is over.
Right. Example 2. You can do what you want as far as I'm concerned.
That has a feeling of, it doesn't bother me, or I'm not going to stop you, but I might not approve.
It can, yes. It has a slight feeling of detachment. And a simple opinion example, number 3. As far as I'm concerned, vanilla ice cream is better than chocolate.
So this is what we call an introductory phrase, or a discourse marker.
Right.
It sets up the opinion that follows.
Yes. And synonyms would include, in my opinion, from my point of view, or the slightly more formal, to my mind.
The prepositions are fixed here.
Yeah.
As far as.
Yeah.
And concerned is a participle, but the whole structure is a unit.
It is. And it almost always collocates by starting a sentence. As far as I'm concerned, comma, then your opinion.
So what's the opposite? If this phrase emphasizes a personal viewpoint, the opposite must be
citing an objective or external truth. So you might say, according to everyone, or factually speaking, or the evidence shows, you're moving away from your personal bubble of opinion.
Got it. Let's take a moment.
Okay, next up, number 6. We have 2 here that are very, very similar and can often be used interchangeably in the long run and in the long term.
These are fantastic phrases for talking about planning or consequences over time. The meaning refers to a long period in the future. It's about looking at the final result, not just the immediate effect.
It's all about the big picture, about future consequences. Let's take an example. Number 1. Quitting smoking is hard right now, but it's much better for your health in the long run.
So you're contrasting the short-term difficulty with the long-term benefit. Okay, example 2. We need a solution for the long term, not just a quick fix.
Again, contrasting immediate, temporary solutions with something permanent and sustainable. And a third example about money. Buying a really cheap car might seem like a good idea, but it could cost you more in repairs in the long run.
Right. These are what we'd call time expressions or adverbial phrases.
Yeah.
They tell us when or over what period of time something happens.
Correct. And for synonyms, you could use words like eventually, ultimately, or the more conversational American phrase, down the road.
Down the road. I like that one. And the preposition for both of these is always in, right? In the long run. In the long term.
Will be in, yes.
And what are some common collocations? What kinds of topics do these phrases appear with?
They're very often financial or health related. We talk about things being good in the long run or causing damage in the long term. We also plan for the long term.
And the opposite seems pretty straightforward.
It is. You just swap long for short in the short run or in the short term. Or you could simply use the word immediately or for now.
Perfect. Let's pause on that one.
Number 7. This is a great phrase to use, especially when you're in a debate or an argument. The phrase is beside the point.
Right. And this means irrelevant. It means the thing that was just mentioned has nothing to do with the main subject of the conversation.
It's a very direct way to dismiss an argument. It doesn't necessarily mean the statement is false. It just means it doesn't matter right now for this discussion.
It's a way of refocusing the conversation. Let's do an example. Number 1, whether you like him personally is beside the point. He is your boss, and you have to work with him.
Exactly. Your personal feelings are not relevant to your professional duty. Example 2. The cost is beside the point. We need this medicine immediately to save his life.
The urgency makes the price irrelevant. Good one. And example 3. You're arguing about the color of the car, but that's completely beside the point. The engine is broken.
Perfect. So this is an idiom, and its semantic field is logic and relevance. It's about what matters in an argument.
What are some synonyms for this?
The most direct one is irrelevant. You could also say unimportant or off-topic.
And the preposition is beside. I like the visual of that. Your comment is standing next to the point, but not on the point.
That's a great way to remember it. And common collocations are often emphasizing it. You'll hear, that's beside the point, as a standalone sentence, or that's completely beside the point.
So the opposite would be something that is very relevant.
Precisely. You would say, that's relevant, or that is the main point, or that's crucial, or that's at the heart of the matter.
Great phrases. Okay, let's breathe.
Item number 8. This one is also about opinions and agreement, but it's more nuanced. The phrase is up to a point.
The yes, but phrase. This means you agree with someone to a certain extent, but not completely. You agree partially.
It sets a limit on your agreement. It's a way of being diplomatic. You acknowledge their idea has some value before you introduce your counter-argument.
Let's see it in action. Example 1. I agree with you up to a point, but I think you're ignoring the financial risks.
C. You build a bridge before you present the problem. Example 2. The movie was funny up to a point, but then the jokes just became rude and offensive.
So it was good until a certain limit was crossed.
Okay.
And example 3 may be about helping someone. I can help you with your homework up to a point, but I can't write the essay for you.
Exactly. There's a boundary. So we call this an idiom of degree. It's about how much you agree or participate.
And for synonyms?
You could say to a certain extent, partly, or somewhat. I somewhat agree with you.
And the preposition here is up to.
Yes. And a very common collocation is the one from our first example. I agree up to a point. Or that's true up to a point.
So the opposite would be full agreement.
Right. The opposite is completely, fully, entirely, or without limit.
Makes sense. Let's pause.
Number 9. This is a very common conversational way to introduce your opinion.
It is.
If you ask me.
Right. And what's funny about this one is that usually nobody has actually asked you.
That's true. It's the unsolicited opinion phrase. It's a casual, informal way to just say, here's what I think.
It softens the opinion a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. It makes it sound less aggressive. For example, number 1, if you ask me, that car is way too expensive for what it is.
Okay. Example 2, just an observation. It looks like rain if you ask me.
And example 3, a judgment. If you ask me, he's making a big mistake by quitting his job.
So this is another discourse marker or an opinion opener. It just signals that an opinion is coming.
Correct. And synonyms would be phrases like, in my book, or in my view, or just adding the word personally to the start of the sentence.
There are no specific prepositions to worry about here. It's a fixed phrase.
It is, and it's often used at the start of an opinion, but you can also tack it on to the end, like in our second example. It looks like rain, if you ask me.
And the opposite concept would be moving away from personal opinion again.
Exactly. The opposite would be objectively speaking, or the facts suggest.
Got it. Let's pause.
And number 10 is very similar to up to a point. We have two phrases here. To some extent and in some ways.
Right. This is all about nuance. It means something is partly true, but not 100% true. It acknowledges that a situation is complex.
It's a great tool for showing you're a thoughtful speaker. For example, I understand your anger to some extent, but I don't think shouting is the solution.
Okay. And a second one. In some ways, this new phone is better than the old one, but the battery life is worse.
Perfect. You're acknowledging both the good and the bad. And a third example, you are right to some extent. That's a very diplomatic way of saying you're not completely right.
So these are adverbial phrases of degree. They're all about how much.
That's right. And synonyms are words like partially, somewhat, or the phrase in a sense.
Now, the prepositions are important here because they're different for each phrase. It's to some extent, but in some ways.
That's a crucial point. You have to remember which preposition goes with which word.
And for collocations, you often hear agree to some extent or true to some extent.
Very common pairings. And the opposite would be absolute words like totally, completely, or in every way.
Simple enough. Let's pause.
All right, number 11. This is a huge one in everyday conversation. The phrase is, the thing is.
Ah, this is the big reveal phrase. You use it to introduce a problem, an important explanation, or the most important fact in a conversation that maybe changes everything.
It's like you're saying, okay, forget everything else. Here is the crucial piece of information. Let's look at an example. I would love to go to the concert with you, but the thing is, I have no money.
Right. The money is the problem, the core issue. Okay, example 2. We can try to finish the project by Friday. The thing is, we just don't have enough time.
Again, you're introducing the central problem. And example 3. You see, the thing is, I've already promised Sarah I would help her move this weekend.
So it's used to explain why something isn't possible. This is another discourse marker or opener.
Yes. Its function is to structure the conversation. Synonyms would be the problem is, the facts is, or just the word actually.
No specific prepositions to worry about here.
Nope. And a very common collocation is to follow it with that. The thing is that we are understaffed.
And an opposite. There isn't a direct one, is there?
Not really, but you could think of a word like furthermore or and as an opposite in function. The thing is introduces a problem or a turn in the conversation, whereas furthermore implies a smooth continuation in the same direction.
That's a good way to think about it. Let's pause there.
Number 12. Another one from the world of debate and discussion. You've got a point.
This is a phrase of concession. It's what you say when you admit that someone else's argument is valid or true, at least in part. You're conceding a win to them.
It's a sign of a good listener. You're showing that you've considered their idea. For instance, example 1. I hadn't thought of it that way. You've got a point.
Perfect. Example 2. I wanted to buy the cheaper one, but you got a point about the warranty. Maybe we should get the more expensive one.
And example 3, maybe a little more grudgingly, okay, maybe you've got a point.
We'd call this an expression of concession or expression of agreement.
Yes. And synonyms would be, that's a valid point, or the very common and slightly more informal, fair point. You could also just say, you're right.
No prepositions here.
No. And a common collocation is to add the word there at the end. You've got a point there. It just adds a little conversational flavor.
And the opposite would be to reject their argument completely.
Right. You'd say, you're wrong, or that makes no sense, or even the very strong, that's nonsense.
Okay, let's pause.
Number 13. I love this one. It's so useful. Fair enough.
Yes. This is such a great casual phrase. It's a way of saying, I understand and accept what you are saying, even if you don't fully agree with it or love it. It ends a debate peacefully.
It's a signal of acceptance and moving on. For example, your friend says, sorry, I can't come to the party tonight. I'm exhausted. You reply, fair enough. Maybe next time.
You're accepting their reason without question. Okay, another one. Someone says, I just don't like spicy food. You can just say, fair enough.
Right. You're not going to argue with their personal taste. And a third example. He explained why he was late, and it was fair enough. It means the reason was reasonable and acceptable.
So this is an expression of acceptance.
That's the perfect term for it. And its synonyms are that's reasonable, okay, or understood.
No prepositions to worry about.
No, and it's almost always used as a standalone response.
The opposite would be to reject the reason.
Exactly. You'd say, that's unacceptable, or no way, or that's not good enough.
Great one. Let's pause.
Number 14, a very useful connector word, even so.
This one connects two contrasting ideas. It means, despite what was just said, or nevertheless, it shows that the second fact is true in spite of the first fact.
It's a word of persistence. Let's look at example 1. It is raining heavily. Even so, we must go out and walk the dog.
The rain doesn't change the necessity of walking the dog. Okay. Example 2. He apologized for what he said. Even so, I'm still angry with him.
The apology happened, but it didn't fix the anger. Perfect contrast. And example 3. The car is very old and rusty. Even so, it runs perfectly.
So we'd call this a conjunction or a connector. Its job is to link ideas.
That's its whole purpose. And its synonyms are words like nevertheless, however, despite that, or simply still.
No prepositions here.
No. It just connects two sentences. You usually put a period before it and a comma after it.
And the opposite in terms of logical connection would be words that show a result, not a contrast.
Exactly. The opposite function is served by words like therefore, consequently, or as a result.
Excellent. Let's pause.
Number 15. This one is very expressive. Burst out laughing.
This means to start laughing suddenly and loudly. It's uncontrollable. It's not a small giggle. It's an explosion of laughter.
The word burst is key. It's like a balloon popping. Let's take example 1. When my brother slipped on the banana peel, I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing.
You can just picture it. Example 2, a more awkward situation. She burst out laughing during the very quiet, serious meeting.
Very embarrassing. And example 3. The comedian's joke was so unexpected and clever, the entire audience burst out laughing.
So this is a phrasal verb expression. It belongs to the semantic field of emotions, specifically laughter.
Absolutely. And for synonyms, you could say someone cracked up or roared with laughter, or the more old-fashioned word, guffawed.
And the preposition is always out. You burst out laughing.
Correct. And a very common related collocation is burst out crying. It works for sudden, explosive crying as well.
So the opposite would be to control your laughter.
Yes. The opposite would be to keep a straight face or to suppress a laugh. Or, of course, the opposite emotion would be to cry.
Got it. Let's take a quick pause.
Number 16. A phrasal verb about discipline. Tell somebody off.
This means to speak angrily to someone because they did something wrong, to scold them. It's usually a person in authority, a parent, a teacher, a boss, talking to someone below them.
That's a key point. It's about a power dynamic. Example 1. My mom told me off for breaking the vase.
Okay. Example 2. The teacher told the student off for talking during the test.
And example 3, from the other perspective, don't tell me off, it wasn't my fault.
This is a classic phrasal verb, and it's in the semantic field of conflict or correction.
Yes. Synonyms are more formal words like scold, reprimand, lecture, or rebuke. Tell off is the most common conversational one.
The prepositions are important. You tell someone off, and you can also tell them off for doing something.
Exactly. And a common collocation is the passive form. I got told off by my boss.
So the opposite is easy. It's to say something nice.
Right. The opposite is to praise, compliment, or commend someone.
Let's pause.
Number 17, a very fun idiom. Pull someone's leg.
This means to tease someone or try to make them believe something that isn't true, but as a joke. It's playful deception.
The key is that it's a joke. It's not malicious lying. For example, hey, I just won the lottery. No, I'm just kidding. I'm pulling your leg.
A classic. Okay, example 2 is a question. Are you serious that you met the queen, or are you pulling my leg?
And example 3, reassuring someone. Don't get mad at him. He's just pulling your leg.
This is a pure idiom. It's in the semantic field of humor and maybe deception.
Yes. And synonyms are verbs like to tease, to joke with, or to kid. I'm just kidding you.
No specific prepositions to worry about.
No. And the collocation is the phrase itself. I'm just pulling your leg is a very common sentence.
And the opposite would be to be honest.
To be serious, tell the truth, or be frank.
Good one. Pause.
Number 18. This is about social sensitivity. Take something the wrong way.
This means to be offended by a comment that was not intended to be offensive, to misunderstand the spirit or intention of a comment and feel hurt by it.
It's all about misinterpretation. We often use it as a warning before we say something that could be sensitive. Example 1, please don't take this the wrong way, but I think your shirt is on backwards.
Right, you're trying to be helpful, not critical. Example 2, he took my advice the wrong way and got really angry.
And example 3, expressing a worry. I want to tell her the food needs more salt, but I hope she doesn't take it the wrong way.
This is an idiomatic phrase. The semantic field is misunderstanding or social conflict.
Correct. Synonyms would be to misunderstand, to get the wrong idea, or to be oversensitive.
The prepositional phrase is fixed.
Yes.
Take something the wrong way.
Yes. And the most common collocation is that warning, don't take this the wrong way, but...
And the opposite would be to understand and not be offended.
Right. To take it well, understand the intention, or appreciate the feedback.
Okay, let's pause.
Number 19. A pair of phrases that are very similar. Make fun of somebody and laugh at somebody.
These mean to mock or tease someone, but usually in an unkind way. While laugh at can be literal, in this context it implies mockery, not just sharing a joke.
Yes. The direction is important. You laugh with someone, but you laugh at them. It's often associated with bullying. For example, the older children made fun of his glasses.
That's a classic mean thing to do. Example 2. It is not nice to laugh at people when they fall down.
And example 3, please stop making fun of my accent.
These are verbal phrases. The semantic field is bullying or negative humor.
And synonyms are to mock, to tease, in a negative sense, or to ridicule.
The prepositions are key. You make fun of someone and you laugh at them.
Very important distinction. And a common collocation is simply make fun of him.
The opposite would be to show positive regard.
Exactly. To respect, admire, or praise someone.
Let's pause.
And number 20, a phrase about emotion. Feel sorry for somebody or be sorry for somebody.
This means to feel pity or sympathy for someone because of their bad situation. It's about empathy.
It is, for example, I feel sorry for that dog left out in the rain.
Okay, a second one, rejecting pity. Please don't feel sorry for me. I'm fine, I can handle this.
And a third one, she felt sorry for him because he lost his job.
This is an adjective phrase.
Yeah.
It's in the semantic field of emotion and empathy.
Absolutely. Synonyms would be to pity, to sympathize with, or the more informal, to feel bad for someone.
And the preposition is always for. You feel sorry for them.
Always. And a very important collocation is when you turn it on yourself. To feel sorry for yourself, which means to indulge in self-pity, and it usually has a negative connotation.
Ah, good point. And the opposite emotions.
The opposite would be to envy someone, to resent them, or to simply be indifferent to their suffering.
Okay, let's pause.
21. Another great idiom, have the last laugh.
This means to succeed or win in the end, especially after other people have criticized you or laughed at your ideas. It's about vindication.
It's a feeling of final victory, for example. They all laughed at his crazy invention, but he had the last laugh when he sold it for millions of dollars.
A great story. Example 2, a threat or a promise. You can tease me now, but I will have the last laugh when I win the race.
And a third one about sports. The team lost the first game badly, but they had the last laugh by winning the entire championship.
This is a classic idiom. The semantic field is success or vindication.
For sure. And synonyms would be to triumph, to prevail, or to win in the end.
No prepositions to worry about here.
No. And the collocation is the phrase itself, to have the last laugh.
And the opposite is simple failure.
Yes. To fail, be proven wrong, or to lose in the end.
Let's pause on that victorious note.
Number 22. A very common phrasal verb for when things don't work out, go wrong.
This means to make a mistake, to stop working correctly, or for a situation to develop in a bad way. It's a general term for failure.
It is very versatile. For example, with technology. I was trying to print the document, but something went wrong with the computer.
A daily frustration for many. Okay, example 2, about a plan. Where did we go wrong in our plan? Everything seemed perfect.
And a third one, expressing hope. Don't worry, nothing can go wrong today. Which, in a movie, means everything is about to go wrong.
Definitely. So this is a phrasal verb. The semantic field is failure or error.
And synonyms would be to fail, to malfunction, or to break down.
Is there a common preposition with it?
Yes, you often say something went wrong with a particular thing. Something's wrong with the car.
And collocations.
Something went wrong and everything went wrong are extremely common.
And the opposite is very satisfying.
Yes, to go right, to succeed, or to work perfectly.
Let's pause.
Number 23. A fun little phrase about motivation. For a laugh.
This means doing something just for fun or amusement, not for any serious reason. The only goal is to laugh.
The motivation is humor itself. For example, he wore a giant clown suit to the formal party just for a laugh.
That would definitely get some laughs.
Yeah.
Okay, example 2, as a defense. We didn't mean to cause any trouble, we just did it for a laugh.
And a third one as a suggestion. Just for a laugh, let's try speaking in a fake accent all day.
This is a prepositional phrase. Its semantic field is humor or entertainment.
Correct. Synonyms would be for fun, for amusement, or as a joke.
The preposition is right there at the start, for a laugh.
It is, and the collocation is do it for a laugh.
And the opposite is to do something with a serious purpose.
Exactly, to do something seriously, earnestly, or professionally.
Okay, let's pause.
24. Another great idiom about anger. Hit the roof.
This means to become extremely angry very suddenly. It's another explosive emotion like burst out laughing, but for rage.
The image is that you get so angry you shoot up and hit the ceiling. For example, when my dad saw the broken window, he hit the roof.
I can picture that. Example 2, a warning. She will hit the roof if you are late again.
And a third one from work. My boss hit the roof when he saw the huge mistake in the report.
This is an idiom, and it's squarely in the semantic field of anger.
Absolutely. And it has some fantastic, very colorful synonyms. Go ballistic, blow a fuse, or just explode, emotionally, of course.
No prepositions here?
Nope. The phrase is a solid unit.
And the opposite is to remain calm.
To stay calm, keep your cool, or to be pleased.
Sigh.
25. A phrase about relationships in conflict, not be on speaking terms.
This describes a situation where two people are so angry at each other that they refuse to talk. There is a silent, hostile standoff.
It's a very specific state of a broken relationship. For example, after their big fight, the two brothers are not on speaking terms.
Very sad. Okay, a question. Are you and John on speaking terms yet, or are you still ignoring each other?
And a third one, describing a period of time, we were not on speaking terms for a whole week after the argument.
This is an idiomatic status. It describes the state of a relationship. The semantic field is relationship and conflict.
Good description. Synonyms could be estranged, or more simply, not talking. Or you could say two people have had a falling out.
The preposition is on. You are either on or not on speaking terms.
You're right. And the collocation is the positive and negative form. To be on speaking terms is the good state, and not to be on speaking terms is the bad one.
So the opposite is just having a normal, friendly relationship.
Yes. Getting along, being friends, or just talking to each other.
Let's pause.
26. Something we all try to avoid. Make a fool of yourself.
This means doing something that makes you look stupid, silly, or undignified in front of other people. It's about public embarrassment.
It is. It's about losing social respect. For example, a common fear. I don't want to get on the dance floor and make a fool of myself.
I think many people can relate to that. Example 2. He made a fool of himself by shouting at the waiter for a small mistake.
He lost his dignity. And example 3 as reassurance. Don't worry. You asked a good question. You didn't make a fool of yourself.
This is a phrase that falls into the semantic field of embarrassment.
And synonyms would be to embarrass yourself, to look silly, or the idiom to lose face.
The preposition is of. You make a fool of yourself.
Right, and a common collocation is to intensify it. He made a complete fool of himself.
And the opposite is to maintain your dignity.
To make a good impression, look dignified, or the opposite idiom, to save face.
Let's pause.
Okay, number 27. This is a very important distinction in the world of humor. We're looking at can take a joke versus get a joke.
Right. They sound similar, but they mean very different things. To be able to take a joke means you don't get angry or offended when people tease you playfully. It's about your personality.
And to get a joke means you understand the humor. It's about comprehension.
Let's use them in examples. First, take a joke. He is so serious all the time, he really can't take a joke.
Meaning he gets offended easily. Now, get a joke. Everyone else was laughing, but I didn't actually get the joke. I had to ask someone to explain it.
Meaning you didn't understand why it was funny. And a third example, combining them in a positive way. She has a great sense of humor. She loves telling jokes, and she can really take a joke too.
So these are verbal phrases from the semantic field of humor and personality.
For synonyms, take a joke is similar to be a good sport, and get a joke is like understand or catch on.
Good ones. No prepositions to worry about.
And a common collocation is the negative. He can't take a joke.
Very common. And the opposites are clear. The opposite of taking a joke is to be touchy or get offended. The opposite of getting a joke is to miss the point.
Excellent distinction. Pause.
Number 28, a very simple but essential phrase. I don't get it.
This just means I do not understand. It can apply to a joke, as we just discussed, but also to a situation, a complex idea, anything. It's a very common, informal way to express confusion.
It is much more common in conversation than saying, I do not comprehend. For example, the teacher explained the math problem 3 times, but I still don't get it.
Right, or with a joke. Everyone is laughing, but I don't get it. What's so funny?
And with a situation, why is she so angry at me? I honestly don't get it.
This is an informal phrase, and its semantic field is simply understanding or, well, the lack of it.
And its synonyms are, I don't understand, I'm confused, or the idiom, it beats me.
No prepositions.
No. And a common collocation is to add just for emphasis. I just don't get it.
And the opposite is wonderfully simple.
I get it, or I understand, I follow.
Okay, let's pause.
We're almost there. Number 29. This one is about body language. Arms are folded.
This describes the physical action of crossing your arms over your chest. It's not just a physical state. It often signifies a particular emotion or attitude, like being closed off, angry, defensive, or just patiently waiting.
The interpretation depends heavily on context. For example, he stood there with his arms folded, looking angry and refusing to listen.
That's the defensive posture. Okay, another one. She sat in the chair, arms folded, refusing to speak to anyone.
Also closed off, but a more neutral one. You can just stand on the side with your arms folded until it's your turn. That just implies waiting.
This is a descriptive phrase about body language.
And its synonym is simply crossed arms.
No prepositions.
And a very common collocation is to stand with arms folded.
So the opposite isn't a phrase so much as an opposite posture.
Exactly. The opposite would be having your arms open or arms at your sides, which signals a welcoming or open posture.
Let's pause.
And finally, number 30. Another pair of body language gestures. Shaking his head versus nodding his head.
A fundamental difference that can cause a lot of confusion across cultures. In English-speaking cultures, shaking your head means turning it from left to right, and it means no.
And nodding your head is moving it up and down, and it means yes.
Let's do examples. First, nodding. I asked if he was hungry, and he just started nodding his head enthusiastically.
So he meant yes. Now, shaking. She was shaking her head in disbelief as she watched the terrible news report. That can mean no, or just, I can't believe this.
And a third one, which is slightly different. He was nodding his head to the rhythm of the music.
So these are gestures related to body language.
The synonyms are the concepts themselves. Shaking your head signifies disagreeing or refusing. Nodding signifies agreeing or assenting.
And you can shake or nod at something or someone.
Common collocations are tying the action to the word. Shaking his head no, or nodding her head yes.
Yes. And the opposite is simple. The opposite of shaking your head is nodding your head, and vice versa.
Right.
We did it. We have successfully navigated the entire list of 30. You can take a moment to breathe.
That was intense, but I hope, for you, incredibly valuable. These aren't just random words. They are the gears that make the engine of the English language run smoothly in conversation.
Exactly. And that brings us to our final thought. Language isn't just about big academic words. It's about the social dance. It's knowing when to wait up for a friend walking down the street. It's understanding when someone is just pulling your leg. It's knowing when to simply nod your head in agreement instead of speaking.
These phrases are the tools for that dance. So we encourage you to practice these. Say them aloud. Try to use 1 or 2 of them in your next conversation.
And here's the question to leave you with. How many of these 30 social situations will you encounter tomorrow? You might be surprised.
Thanks for joining us on this very special, very deep dive. Good luck with your studies.
Goodbye for now.